We've got some more Friday goodness. It's the 996's sister car in the 986 Boxster. Has a pretty awesome history and it's got a pretty exciting future ahead of it as well, because this car is about to be transformed into a special one-of-one 25th anniversary edition Boxster that will be presented to the public in a matter of weeks. Let's get in Steve Shaw, CEO at Shorade Accident Repair, to discuss what on earth is going to be going on with this awesome Friday project.
The idea is that this car will be painted and will look like the new 25th anniversary car.
Design-wise, it's going to take some cues from that original Boxster study of the mid-90s and also the 718 25th anniversary car.
It's picked up a few little battle scars and a few bits of refinishing along the way.
It is looking a little bit unloved. And with that, the team got stuck into Project Boxster 25. Okay, so quick project update on the Boxster 25th anniversary edition one-of-one 986. Glenn, one of the technicians here from Shorade Accident Repair, has been busy this morning taking a few of the panels off the Boxster. Already it's quite obvious to tell that A, the car has had a hard life previously. It was actually a training car for Porsche GB, so it's essentially had a lot of people fiddling with the car over a great number of years. And the condition of the car currently is kind of indicative from that. It really does need a lot of love. It's in absolutely the right place to do that, being at a Porsche recommended repairer such as Shorade. But what's immediately evident, as you can see in removing the front bumper and the front air ducts, these rads on the front usually get absolutely clogged with leaves and detritus from the road, don't they? On the 986 and 996, and well, pretty much any Porsche sports car. But these are in really good nick, again, indicative of the fact that it's just not been on the road. The tyres are cracked and absolutely knackered. There's flat spots at the bottom where it's clearly been sitting still for so long. As I say, it's not been on the road for years, clearly, but its day back on the road is coming up. The front bumper was first to receive attention. Its number plate holes were to be smoothed out and a few dents were identified for removal too. This was done with a bit of heat before the dents were simply pushed out. Then it was on to the reg plate holes. These were filled and sanded back, along with the rest of the bumper, all while using vision and touch to make sure the finish was nice and smooth. A final inspection and dust down ensured the Boxster's front bumper was ready for primer and paint. Meanwhile, the rest of the car was disassembled and inspected prior to an intensive prep process before the Boxster was put in the paint booth and masked up, ready for its GT silver paint and neodyme accents. The Boxster was then epoxy primed before a couple of coats of GT silver and then lacquer were applied, in between baking time in the oven of course, to give this special 986 its identical look to the new 718 anniversary car. From there, reassembly plus final prep and polish was all carried out before this 986 was ready to start its new life as a one-of-one special edition. This is it then, this is the big reveal. I have to say, I've just had a look around the car. The eagle-eyed among you might be able to see a reflection there. The actual car is next to me here. It is damn phenomenal. I will introduce you now to the one-of-one 25th anniversary edition 986 Porsche Boxster. Steve Shaw, thanks for bringing me back to Shorade first of all.
Yeah, welcome back.
Look at this.
It's a bit special, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. I'm genuinely blown away by this. It looks very different to what it did only 2 months ago. We were saying off camera, it's quite literally 8 weeks.
Yeah, 2 months, eight weeks, yeah. 8-week turnaround.
Give us the figures then in terms of hours spent on the car and whatnot.
Yeah, so start to finish, the car was finished 2 days ago. And we spent 247 hours on it. A lot of hours, but a hell of a lot of work once we got the paint off and realised what was underneath there.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot to get it to this stage.
Yeah, yeah. And I think you'd said as well, it's possibly more than what you would spend on other projects, but
Yes.
the whole point of this is showing what can be done.
Exactly. It's a one-off just to
yeah.
show what can be done.
We saw the car was in, I think, like disarray really last time in terms of condition. You'd intimated off camera that there were a few bits and pieces you found, some extra like hidden gems of problems. So what were they?
The whole idea was to get it back to bare metal and start again. But there was a lot of stuff that we wasn't aware that was under the paint. So the bonnet, for example, that was full of filler. So we had to take all the original filler out, get all the dents out, get it as perfect as we could, and then a light layer of polyester stopper over the top before it was repainted. Same with the wings, the doors as well. There was pretty much dents and damage all over it. At the end of the day, it originally was a training car, so obviously it was there for people to practice on and do the various bits and pieces.
Yeah. Well, I think that's kind of indicative of like paint generally, and you'll know, but like since I had my car painted, I've had a lot of people asking, well, you know, what's the cost if I want that done for my car? And really, it just comes down to each individual project. You don't know what you're going to find until you take the paint off. So look, the result is absolutely spectacular. It really is. I'm particularly impressed with the A-pillar and the windscreen surround. So after our video, a viewer got in contact and said, well, look, the prototype, the original Boxster study, had this black surround. Why don't you do that? Which wasn't on the agenda. But
no, it wasn't. When I looked at the original photos of the car, I completely missed that.
Yeah, me too.
And again, if it wasn't for one of your members picking that up, so obviously it's down to him that we did that.
The headlights as well. I mean, again, how are they 25 years old, you know?
Yeah, well, they've been fully refurbished.
Yeah.
So again, with the plastic lenses, as we know that they deteriorate. We can't stop obviously the orange bits from fading in colour, but what we can do is refurbish the lenses. So we flat all them down. There's then a special clear coat that we put on it. So that's what we've done with those.
Brilliant, absolutely fantastic. Talk to me about the wheels as well, Steve. So it's great to see some speed lines on a Boxster.
Yeah.
They're obviously different widths, front and rear, but these look similar.
Yeah, they are. Obviously, these wheels were originally being on a 964 turbo. We're never going to be able to fit turbos on a rear of this because it looked like Carlos Fandango wide wheels. So what we've done, we've put 4 fronts on effectively, but we've spaced the back out to bring it out to fill the arches a bit better. And yeah, obviously the wheels come in, they were grey silver, so obviously the brief was to do it all in the neodyme gold. Obviously we didn't want to split the wheels down, so we painstakingly masked it all up inside and out, and obviously refurbished them in the neodyme. Same with the centre caps as well, and the brake calipers.
Attention to detail is a big thing for me, and I was really pleased to see that centre cap point into the valve.
Yeah, it's a pet hate.
Yeah.
Everything has to be perfect.
Well, it goes to show your attention to detail is absolutely spot on. Interior, what kind of happened here? We'll talk about the roof shortly, but it was a general spruce up, was it not?
There was a water leak underneath this seat, obviously water ingress from somewhere. So we've lifted all the carpets up, dried the carpets out, dealt with the leak, and then put everything back together. And then obviously once that was done, it was then a case of treating all the leather, giving it a good scrub, which I actually spent a good few hours myself this week doing it as well, because I wanted to make sure it was perfect. So yeah, literally the inside didn't need anything. A few of the switches were broken, so we've replaced the switches. And obviously we've got the updated head unit in it as well.
Yep, it's great to see the PCCM
Yeah.
Plus in there as well. Were there any bumps in the road, shall we say, in the project, or was it genuinely as kind of as plain sailing as we all like these things to be?
It was pretty much plain sailing. As we always know, we always knew it was going to be tight on the time scale, because obviously we're working to get it on display at the NEC. So when you do have issues, like we had to put a new back bumper on it because that was all cracked and damaged. There was quite a lot of mechanical parts that we've had to replace because they were either missing or damaged. So really it was a case of the whole thing didn't come back together until the back end of last week, once we'd got all the parts to complete the job. But no, it was pretty much straightforward. Like I say, it was a good donor car to start with. It's a nice solid car, there's no corrosion on it. So again, it wasn't really an issue. It's just, it takes a lot of time to get everything perfect. As you saw in the videos, everything was taken off the car. So we wanted to make it as good as we possibly could.
I have to say as well, the accents work really well.
They do, yeah. And again, that neodyme, it's a really quite special colour, and It's really quite an expensive colour as well. There's a special reflective tinter in it, but it certainly makes, it finishes the car
That
off.
makes the car without a doubt. Look, congratulations, you've built a 1-of-1 986 25th anniversary Boxster. What is the plan for this car now? Obviously it's going on display at the weekend.
Yeah, so the car is off to the Classic Car Show at the NEC on Thursday. It will be on display all over the weekend on the Porsche GB Classic stand, and it will be nose to nose with the 718 25th anniversary car. So if anybody has got the time and interest to get down there, it'd be great to see you down there. I'll be there myself, so if obviously anybody does want to go, come along and say hello.
Let's have a look at this hood then. So what, originally it was in a pretty bad way.
The original plan was to try and put a terracotta roof on it, which were no longer available. We then thought of putting a black roof on it, which are also no longer available. So the only option was to take it to a local trimmers that we use, and he's put a new Perspex back window in it. Took the original canvas off. We then repainted all the black side pieces so it all looks nice and new. Whilst it was down the road having all the new back window put in it, we were refurbishing all the frame.
So there we have it then, a fried egg masterpiece. I can't get my head around the fact this is a quarter of a century old. It looks absolutely spectacular, and again, it's just indicative really of how awesome these cars can look. I think the whole point of this exercise is to show just what's possible with these cars. They're absolutely coming back in vogue in terms of the enthusiast market, and Shorade here, with the help of Porsche Classic, have really shown just what can be achieved, admittedly with money no object, and I think this looks just as good, if not better, than the 718 25th anniversary edition that this car will be going nose to nose with on display at the NEC Classic. Is there a better looking fried egg Porsche out there right now? I would say not. That is stunning.